Afternoon. And remember where are we stopped now? These slides we talk about in the ISLM model, right? The last page. So actually now we talk about the policy effects. Can you remember? Policy effects in the ISLM model, fiscal and the monetary policies. We talk about fiscal policy and the monetary policy, right? Basically, fiscal policies it affects to the IS curve, right? The monetary policies LM curve, right? We talk about if there is a expansionary fiscal policy related to government expenditure. There's a rise in the government expenditure, how it affects the IS curve, right? And the causes behind the changes in the variables, right? And finally, how it affects the interest rate and the return income. But we talk about that. And the same way we talk about the monetary policy also, right? Monetary policy also video. Now, here in the fiscal policy, where there is a rise in the government expenditure, you're right. We know that we identify this crowding out effect. Crowding out effect. Right? So that is actually, you know that when the government expenditure raise, right? The government raise these funds to the private sector, right? Private sector funds close to the government, right? So that actually out of the private investment, right? That we identified with the ISLM analysis, right? So by looking at the changes in the interest rate. Now here we noted the crowding out effect. Going to this diagram, you see when there is a rise in the government expenditure, right? From G0 to G1, right? So that shifts the IS curve to the right, right? So if there is no changes in the interest rate, so we know that the interest rate remains at the R0 level, right? So that will raise the national income above the Y1 level, right? But due to a rise in the interest rate, because due to the money market adjustments, right? So we know that when there is an increase in the interest rate, that will reduce the private investment. Private investment to rise in the interest rate. That's why you see here the crowding out effect and the income level decline from say Y2 to Y1. That explains the crowding out effect. If you take this R0 level and moving from A to B, right? That explains the KCM multiplier effect, right? Without any influence of the interest rate. So when there is a rise in the government expenditure, right, due to the direct and indirect effects, we know that that will raise the national income, as I identified in the Keynesian model, right? Now, if you look at this crowding out effect further, right? So one thing I want to note here, crowding out effect. There can be three types of effect. Zero crowding out effect, partial crowding out effect, and complete. Complete crowding out effect. So if you look at the fact website to explain that one, you know this ISLM analysis, right? ISLM. same with the highest particular level of government expenditure is zero, right? And LF, the level of the money stock and the price, right? So this is the initial equilibrium zero and the y zero, those are the equilibrium points, right? Okay. If there is a rise in the government expenditure, right, so that this highest curve shift to the right. Let's say the government expenditure increase from G0 to G1, right? So that actually shift the highest curve to the right. So lastly, we talk about the shifting factors, right? Of the highest and the curve, right? Also the autonomous expenditure, government expenditure, taxes, right? Are the shifting factors to the highest curve, right? So you rise in the government expenditure, and highest curve to the right. Now, if you look at if there is actually this due to this adjustment, we know that interest rate increase up to R1, let's say Y2, right? We may move from here to here, right? If we take this point, there is no, according to the Keynesian explanation, right? So we know this one that explains the Keynesian multiplier, right? That T into 1 over 1 minus T, right? So that due to the multiplier effect, right? Due to rise in the government expenditure from G0 to G1, the income will increase from Y0 to Y2, right? As identified in the Keynesian theory, the multiplier effect, right? Now, if there is no change in the interest rate, right? So that means income will increase from Y0 to Y2 level. So that we take this point A. Point A explain that what is it? Zero rounding out. There is no rounding out effect, right? Right. So there is no change in the interest rate. No? Interest rate is fixed, no? Right? So if there is no change in the interest rate, no? Private investment does not change, no? Right? Investment remains unchanged. There is no change in investment. So therefore, we see when there is a rise in the government expenditure, let's say from delta G portion, right? The income increase from Y0 to Y2, that explains the zero rounding. Right? So that means like this. In other words, we can identify the LM curve if it is like this, right? This is horizontal. The LM curve is horizontal. Below the normal IS curve, we see the complete zero rounding down. Right? Now, moving from this point B, if you take the point B, that is the equilibrium point, no, right? You rise in the interest rate from R0 to R1, right? So you know that income reduced from Y2 to Y1, no, right? Because when there is a rise in the interest rate from R0 to R1, that will reduce the private investment because higher interest rate discourage private investment. So that actually negatively affect on the income, right? When there is a decline in the investment, that reduces the aggregate demand, that reduces the income. Right? That's why income reduces from Y2 to Y1. So that explains the point B. What is it? It is partial. Partial crowding down. It is partial, no, right? If there is zero crowding down, then we can identify the point B. When there is a rise in interest rate, slightly, right? So that will reduce the income slightly, that will explain partial crowding down due to there is a rise in the government expense. We take like point like now there is income increase up to point C. So that means point C means that raises the interest rate at a higher rate, no, right, than R1, right? So that is that explained by here, right? What is it? So even though the government raises the expenditure, no, right? So income does not change, no, right? Right. So income remains at 0 level. Right? So that explains the point C complete rounding up. So that means like if the LM curve is vertical LM curve, you can identify complete rounding up. And then if the LM curve is like this, right? If it is horizontal, there actually we see the zero rounding up. I made a mistake, right? Here, right? Here. That is the complete rounding. Completely round out. Or if there is no change in the interest rate, that means okay. Right? No problem, not to take. I mean, increase as we expected, right? And this is okay, right? If there is a rise in the interest rate at a faster rate, like from R0 to R2, at a point like the point C, right? That means even though the government raises expenditure, no, there's no change in the income, right? So that explains that. Okay, the income, right? So now in the ISLA diagram, we can identify these rounding out effects, right? You look at the real and the monetary sector interaction, no, right? Due to the monetary sector, money market adjustment, you know that explained by the change in interest rate, no, right? That you can identify this rounding out, right? So here from here to here, from B to C, explain them. Or from income Y2 to Y1, explain this rounding out as the identified one, right? So that means there is a absolute reduction in the private investment. Those funds close to the government, right? To make the expenditure, right? Right. So then we identified the monetary policy also, right? The last day, right? So monetary expansion, right? So we look at the money market adjustment and how it impact on the LM curve, right? If there is a rise in the as a money supply in the policy variable, no? We identified if there is a rise in the money supply, that shift the money supply goes to the right, and due to the expansion in the money stock, right? We know that the LM curve that also shift to the right, right? So we see there is a reduction in the interest rate, right? And the income level also increased from Y0 to Y1. So due to rise in the money stock from M0 to M1 here, right? Higher expansion under the expansionary monetary policy of the central bank. So we know that there's a excess money supply created in the money market, right? Because money demand does not change. If there's a rise in the money supply, so that will create a imbalance in the money market, right? So that imbalance corrected by declining the interest rate from R0 to R1, right? Because if there's a decline in the interest rate, what happens? As we identified in the money demand function, no, right? So the money demand increase under the speculative mode. So that will completely absorb excess money supply in the money market, right? Due to the expansion of the market policy, right? So there is a decline in the interest rate. So when there is a decline in the interest rate, we know that that gives an inducement for private sector to invest more, right? At a lower interest rate, right? It encourage the private investment, that they increase the aggregate demand. So, therefore, what happened? Income increased from 5.0 to 5.1. So, you can identify it as declining the interest rate and rising the income, no? Right? So, due to the monetary expansion, right? And I think we lastly we stopped here, no? Right? So, increasing taxes. So, what happens if there is a taxes? The normal raise is taxes, no? Right? That means the contractionary fiscal policy action, no? Right? Raising the tax. Taxes will affect to the ISO and then no? Taxes affect to the ISO and then yes. ISO and then ISO, right? Because it's now we know that in the injection, ISO, those are the injections, no? Right? The percent injections, no? Right? So what are the injections in the full-fledged economy model? Investments, government expenditure, and taxes, no? Right? So taxes, so what? Taxes, so exports, no? Right? And the global are the taxes, savings, and the imports, no? Right? So the withdrawal has a negative impact on the IS curve, no? Right? That's why IS curve shift to the left, no? Right? So withdrawal curve shift to the left, right? In the like we earlier we discussed about the injections and the withdrawal curve, how it is impact, no? Right? The tax that we shift to the left, right? And that actually shift the IS curve. If there is a rise in the taxes, no? That shift the IS curve to the left, no? Right? So when there is a shifting, such a shifting, what happens? There's a that goes to decline the income and interest rate, you know, right? So there's a shifting IS over the left. So why there is such a changes in the economy, right? So when there is a high access, that is an inspiration of the right? Now the taxes, if the IS go to the left, no, right? This is IS, we take the here, what are the variables we can take? So we can take government expenditure, taxes, no, right? And then money stock and the price level, no, right? Zero ISU. So if there's a rise in the taxes, say almost taxes increase from T0 to T1, right? So that shift the IS curve to the left, right? IS T0, T1, earlier T0, now T1, right? So that will actually reduce the interest rate. There's a decline in the interest rate and the income. Why? When there is a equilibrium move from T0 to E1, right? Why there is such changes? Because high taxes, what happened? There's a high taxes that reduce the possible income, right? That reduce the consumption and that reduce the aggregate demand, right? That reduce the income, right? That's why income level increase from Y0 to Y1, right? If there is a decline in the income, what happens? That reduce the money demand as well, right? So when there is a decline in the income, that reduce the money demand under the transaction and precautionary models, right? People demand less money under the transaction and precautionary models. Right? So that actually what happened? It creates imbalance in the money market. Money demand curve shift to the left, right? So that means there will be excess money supply in the money market. Imbalance created in the money market by creating excess money supply. Right? Because money demand decrease, there is no changes in the money supply, no, right? It's remain at the same level, no, right? Since it's determined by the central bank. So there that create excess money supply in the market. That means liquidity increase, no, the money market. So since there is high liquidity, that goes to reduce the interest rate. When there is a decline in the interest rate, what happens? You know the money demand function, T naught plus T1y minus T2r. Earlier income reduced. Income reduced, therefore money demand reduced under the transaction and precautionary bond. Later the interest rate decrease. When there is a decline in the interest rate, money demand under the speculative model increase. Right? So that means if the additional in the interest rate, money market after that will get stable. Right? So we can see these two variables adjusted, right? So let's again explain this equilibrium in the money market. So therefore, we see the decline in the interest rate from R0 to R1 and the income level also decrease from I0 to I1, right? So that's clear. So if there is a question, right? So now there will be a repeat question. Already in the papers, there are find the ASL analysis, right? Questions, right? Now this time you will have a question from this area, right? Person question. Person, right? We will have the question. One question, the question part, right? We will discuss the calculation part, right? I guess but the question is there, right? Therefore, we must be familiar with the law of the IS curve, LF curve, and what are the factors that determine slope and production, right? There is an equilibrium of and the situation in the ISLM analysis, right? For above, below, high, right? But the situation. And we must be able to explain these policy effects, right? Why there is such adjustment, right? When there is a change in the fiscal policy, variables of monetary policy, right? There will be a verification, right? Now, you know this one, if the government increase these two cases, no, right? Can you remember that one we discussed earlier? The government raises the expenditure and the taxes by same amount, and remember we talked about that one in the case in there. So that we identified as the what? This is a concept. That concept. And this whole is the government raises expenditure and the taxes by same amount. The impact on the national income we identify. Concept. What is that? That we identify. To talk, right? Now you had explained in June, sometime June, right? So that is the balance budget multiplier. Can you remember? Balance budget multiplier, no, right? BPA, right? So now that is our government expenditure multiplier delta Y over delta G, no, right? And the tax multiplier. So if we add these two multipliers, right? So that will equal to 1, no, right? So that means government expenditure 1 by 1 over 1 minus P minus P over 1 minus P, no, right? Tax multiplier, no, right? So that will equal to 1. You simplify this, that will equal to 1. So 1 means what? If the government raises its expenditure and the taxes by same amount, finally the net impact is national income will increase by the amount of government expenditure, no, right? So that can be explained using the ISLM analysis as well, right? Right. So how we explain that part? we derive the balance budget multiplier, right? Taking the earlier we may remember, right? Before the taking the equilibrium equation, no, right? In the economy, no, right? Initial situation and with the change in the government expenditure and the taxes, no, right? We derive the equation and taking the difference, no, simultaneous equations, no, you can identify the balance budget multiplier, right? Now here, now we can explain graphically, no, right? Now, what we do, we change we raise the government expenditure and the taxes, no, right? So that means government expenditure increase by we assume, right? Government expenditure increase by the G portion. The same amount will change the taxes, no, because government expenditure is financed by raising taxes, no, right? If the government raises expenditure by 100 million, government owes 100 million tax, no, right? In order to finance such expenditure, right? So finally, what happened? That is the changing budget, no, right? Delta B, no, changing budget. Is there any impact on budget? There is no impact on budget, no? There is no budget deficit or surplus, no? Delta B is equal to 0, no, right? Because 100 million increase, government expenditure and taxes also increased by 100 million. Expenditure equal revenue, right? There will be no change in the budget, 0, no, right? So that's why you take the balance budget multiply, right? Now here what happened? Now this is the ISLM, right? So we take IS initial situation, IS curve. Now we have the particular level of government expenditure, particular level of taxes, right? So this is the LM, right? So this is the equilibrium. Equilibrium, right? So the economy initially equilibrium at a 0 point of right? We have the equilibrium interest rate and the equilibrium income, right? The government raises expenditure. Now the expenditure is by expenditure. Government raise the expenditure first, right? Divided the equal, right? So that shift the IS curve to the right, right? Okay. This is the change in government expenditure. I delta G, right? So IS curve shift to the right, no, given by IS G1, T0, right? And raise the expenditure from G0 to G1, therefore G portion, right? Then shift the IS curve to the right. Right. We are moving from G0 to E1. So that we take that point, this is the equilibrium, right? R1 and the Y. Now if we now then what happened? Now according to the ancient theory, like if there is no change in the interest rate, right? The income will should increase up to by 2 level, right? In the multiplier effect, right? But we know that the government raised taxes also, right? At the same time, right? So that when there is a rise in the taxes, what happens? That reduce the there is a decline in the IS curve shift to the left, right? So this is delta T, right? We know that you take the expenditure multiplier and the tax multiplier is less than 1. If you take this one, we say E is 0.8, right? So our consumption function is 100 plus 0.8 YD, right? So this is So from the 50, right, 0.8, right. So here what happened, how much is the government expenditure multiplier? 1 over 1 minus 0.8, that means become 5, right. We take the tax multiplier, how much? Minus this minus 0.8, 1 minus 0.8, that means minus 4, right. Tax multiplier is less than 1. We take the in absolute figure, right? This is absolute term, always tax multiplier is negative, right? Expenditure multiplier is positive, right? Absolute term, right? We know that the tax multiplier is less than 1 than the expenditure multiplier. Right? Okay, because when there is a look at the expenditure multiplier, right? If the government raises expenditure, that increase the aggregate demand, increase the income, increase the money demand, right? Like price, right? Right. Increase the aggregate demand, income, and consumption, right? Again, aggregate demand likewise, right? Due to demand. That always impact is positive, the expenditure, right? That's why it's a higher expenditure price higher. But if we take the tax multiplier, if the government raise taxes, what happens? We know this one. Why the disposable income reduce, consumption reduce, income reduce, no, right? Again, consumption reduce, right? That's negative, no, right? Right. So that's why we have the negative effect is always is negative effect is not right. So the tax multiplier is negative, right? Normally when there is a rise in the tax, that is conducive to production, not right? Therefore, it's negative, right? So when there is a rise in the taxes, what happens? That shift the highest level to the left. That's a withdrawal, right? So now we are moving from E2, right? E1 to E2, right? This is the point equilibrium. Right? Finally, we come to this point, right? Y2, let's say R2, right? So the final effect is this is the net effect, right? The net effect. So the income increase from Y0 to Y2. That will equals to change in government expenditure, right? So now look at this. When there is when the government raises its expenditure, government expenditure from G0 to G1, right? We know that due to the multiplier effect, the income increase from Y0 to Y2, right? From here to here, right? Multiplier effect, right? And then when the government raises taxes, right? What happens? It increases from Y2 to Y3, right? Something. I think now due to the rise in the taxes, no, what happened? Income reduced from Y2 to Y3. Then the income increase from Y0 to Y2, right? Due to increasing expenditure, due to increase in taxes, therefore income decrease from Y2 to Y3. That is given by this, right? That is delta T into minus P1 minus P. Tax multiplication, right? So finally, the net effect is given by that is equals to changing government expenditure. So that means the balance budget multiplier. We have these two multipliers, right? 5 minus 4 means 1, right? So that will equals to 1, right? Finally, we see if the government raises the expenditure and the taxes by the same amount, income will change by the amount of raising government expenditure. For example, if the government is 100 billion, the government expends the taxes by 100 billion. Finally, we see income will increase by 100 billion. Right? So, there should be a change by the amount in production government expenditure. Right? So that we can explain that point. Yes. Right? Is it clear? You can draw the graph and you need to explain the mechanism, right? Shifting, right? All these things, right? And finally, you can identify the effect. Okay, right? So then I'm going to look at another aspect, right? So that means that these are the policy changes we look at, right? Whether the fiscal policy or the monetary policy, right? So what kind of changes that we can see? How the equilibrium values change, right? We look at change in income and the interest rate, right? By looking at change in income, basically, you can identify the policy effectiveness, right? Effectiveness of the policy, right? Which policy is more effective, right? Under what circumstances, right? So that need to be analyzed, right? Whether the monetary policy is effective, whether the fiscal policy is effective. Under what circumstances? The effectiveness depends on the slope of the IS and LM curve, right? Depending on the slope, we can identify which policy is more effective, right? Under what circumstances? Slope means that means whether we have the deeper curves or the flatter curves, no, right? So we know what factors determine the slope of the IS and the LM curve, right? So basically, we take the slope of the IS curve depends on the identified and remember what are the factors that determine the slope of the IS. We derive the IS curve based on the investment and the savings curve. So slope of the investment function, slope of the saving function determine the slope of the IS. So those are the interest elasticity of investment and the marginal profit value of savings. And when it comes to the LM curve, we derive the LM curve based on money demand and the money supply. Money supply is always stable, no, right? Yes, you can say exogenous, no, policy variable. We cannot take the monetary policy. Very authority determine, right? So in that case, slope of the LM curve mainly depends on the money demand, right, function. Right? The slope of the money demand function mainly depends on two factors, right? What are those factors? C1 and then C2. Right? Some elasticity of money demand, C1, interest elasticity of money demand. Basically, we take here two factors, interest elasticity of investment and the interest elasticity of money demand. So when you look at the effectiveness, right? Now, basically, now policy effectiveness, right? So in our analysis, basically, we look at the impact on the income, right? Whether there's higher impact or lower impact. By looking at that, we can analyze the effective policy, right? But there are other factors, right? When we implement the policy, we know that if we can predict the future, right? Clearly, some policies when we implement, if we can see the future, what is happening, what can be happen, clearly, based on that also, you can determine the effective ones, and the time, right? Sometimes to see the outcome, if it is take long time, right? Those policies are not effective, depending on the situation, right? If we can take the outcomes speedily, right? Those policies sometimes, because of the emergency, right? We take it as an effective policy. Likewise, there are other factors, right? Speed of adjustment, predictability of the policy, and the time track, right? So those factors you can use, right, depending on the situation, right, to measure the effectiveness of the policy. But in our analysis, basically we look at the effect on income. Okay, not look at the other aspect. Right? Now, if I give the summary, right? Now, basically, we take the two policies, monetary policy and the fiscal policy, right? Now we have the IS and the LN. Sometimes we have steeper, flatter. It's not right. If you take the monetary policy, now if we have the steeper IS curve, monetary policy is less effective. And if we have the flatter IS curve, monetary policies are more effective. And LN curve, if you look at, if we have the steeper LN curve, monetary policies are effective. And if it is flatter, less effective. Right. Now, can you see the steeper LN curve is what? Steeper IS curve is what? And it will interest elasticity and take the IS curve. Mainly we take the interest elasticity of investment. Right? If you have a steeper IS means steeper investment curve, right? Steeper investment curve means what? Even though the interest rate change, there is no change in the investment, right? So that means low interest elasticity of investment is there, right? Flatter IS curve means highly sensitive situation, right? High interest elasticity of investment, right? And LN curve, if it is steeper, that means interest elasticity of money demand, right? Mainly depends on that. So what we can say, if we have the steeper LN curve, we know that we have the lower interest elasticity of money demand, right? If we have flatter LN curve, that means high interest elasticity of money demand, right? So depending on that, you can see the steeper or flatter patients, and that will affect to the effectiveness of the monetary policy. When it comes to the fiscal policy, steeper IS curve highly effective, right? And the flatter LN curve highly effective. Okay. Opposite way we can see, right? Now, first we look at the. We are going to explain such situations graphically. We can explain, right? So we take the monetary policy, and slope of the IS curve. Okay, take the monetary policy, slope of the IS curve you can find. So the conclusion, what is the main conclusion is the effectiveness of the policy depends on the slope of the IS and LN. So you can prove it, right, by taking separate monetary and fiscal policies. Right. So first we take the monetary policy and the slope of the IS curve. Now the slope of the IS curve depends on what? I1, right? Interest elasticity of investment, right? If I1 is low, what happens? We have steeper IS curve. If I1 is high, we have flatter IS curve, right? Okay. So that means now this is the situation, right? We take the investment curve, right? Can be steeper or flatter, right? The steeper curve, right? It is R and I. Right? R0, even though in a steeper situation, even though the interest rate increased drastically, investment increased slightly, right? That means low interest elasticity of investment. We have steeper IS curve or steeper investment curve, no? Because this is the investment curve, right? So directly investment curve affects the top of the IS curve, right? We have the flatter highest investment curve, right? So that means even though the interest rate now increase, right? Slightly investment change significantly, right? So that means high interest elasticity of interest. We have the plan, right? Okay. Now we have the two cases. I1, we take first one is I1 low, second case is I1 high. So you can draw the equal time curves, right? See how it impact, right? We have the I1 low means we have the steeper IS curve, more steeper IS curve. I1 high means we have the more flatter IS curve, right? Can draw normal LN curve, right? Normal LN curve, right? Okay, right? Okay. Now this is the equilibrium. Okay. Now we are going to implement the monetary policy. At first, the monetary policy, right? And then so for the IS curve. So there can be two situations and extreme cases also we can take. No? Right? We know those extreme cases I1 0, I1 infinity. No? And you remember, I1 is 0, 0 interest elasticity of investment, infinite interest elasticity of investment. Right? So we ignore those things. We take only these cases, right? I1 low and the I1 high. Right? Now what we are going to implement monetary policy. So we assume we use the expansionary monetary policy, right? We assume expansionary monetary policy. Money supply increase from M0 to M1. We assume money supply central bank increase the money supply from M0 to M1. Central bank adopt expansionary monetary policy. Now this is the money stock prevailing situation M0, right? You say the economy in equilibrium. Right now, due to the expansionary monetary policy, right? So what happened? The central bank raised its monetary policy, no, right? When raised the money supply, it shifted LN curve to the right. Can shift the LN curve in the same portion, right? The right, right? M1, LM, M1. That will reduce the rate from R0 to R1, income increase from Y0 to Y1. You know how it is happening, right? Why there is a decline in the interest rate, why there is an increase in the income, right? Here we see more change and but income increase faster, right? We compare this situation, what you can see. What is the most effective one? Here, the impact on income is from Y0 to Y1 compared to this. Here, the impact is high, right? So that means if there is a flatter, that means, oh, sorry, there is a flatter IS curve, right? Flatter IS curve, that means if there is high interest elasticity of investment, right? Monetary policy is effective, right? If we have the flatter IS curve, right? Monetary policies are effective, right? Flatter highest one that was this effective one. Right? This one is the effective one. Right? This is the effective one. Right? This is less effective. This is highly effective. Right? So the conclusion is if there is a high interest elasticity of investment, monetary policy is effective. So if you have the flatter highest curve, monetary policy is effective. Right? Okay, right? So likewise, now you can explain graphically, right? So under what circumstances that these policies are effective, right? So in the first case, we take the monetary policy and the slope of the ISL, right? We concluded that there is a high interest elasticity of investment. I1 monetary policy is effective, right? Okay. Then next one, we take the monetary policy and the slope of the LM curve. Slope of the LM curve. Take same policy, right? We look at the slope of the LM curve. Anyway, look at the slope of the IS curve, right? Now we look at the slope of the LM curve, right? Okay. Now we use northern intervals, right? Now the slope of the LM curve depends on what? Depends on the C2, right? We take the C2, right? Plus elasticity of money demand. Plus elasticity of money demand. That is how the money demand is respond due to change in the interest rate, right? Interest elasticity of money demand. Now the C2 can be low, C2 can be high. C2 low means we have the steeper LM curve. C2 high means we have the flatter LM curve, right? So now we are going to draw the situation C2 low, C2 high. Two cases, right? C2 low means we have the steeper LM curve, right? And draw the equal size graphs, right? C2 low means we have the steeper LM curve, right? Steeper LM curve, right? C2 high means we have the flatter LM curve. It was normal IS curve, right? We use the monetary policy, right? We take the money stock initial level. Economy is initial level and the initial level, right? Now here also we use the monetary policy. We assume money stock increase from F0 to F1, right? So what happens? We can go and then curve, right? And draw parallel lines, same size, right? Precise, right? So same. slope of the and for the same, as you can see, which one is according to my one, I cannot change this change. You can draw it correctly, like okay, if the L curve, right, same portion, right, proportionality, like same. This is the fashion in that. Which one is more effective according to your back? You can see the impact. The road the correct only one I can't see. So if you are which one is effective? Yes. Which one will get the greater impact on income? C2 low or C2 high? We have the conclusion is that we have the steeper LM curve, is effective. The first one should be effective one. Can you see that one? Quite clearly you can see. So this one is effective, right? Deeper. C2 low, right? C2 low, right? If the interest elasticity of money demand is low, right? For monetary policy. Okay. Did you get the one, right? Right. So this one is a little bit difficult because now we the monetary policy, right? Have to look at this thing, right? Distance, right? Okay. If you draw it in a clear scale, right? You can see clearly, right? This one is more effective, right? My one is this is the change, right? Okay. So then we will look at the other one, right? That is, we take the fiscal policy. Now we take the fiscal policy. And so of the electron, say, of the electron, right? Now we are going to take the fiscal policy, right? And the slope of the electron. Now the slope of the LM curve again, right? That depends on the C2, which is the elasticity of money demand, same case, right? C2 can be low or high, right? So if C2 case, C3 low, we have this steeper LM curve, C2 high. We have flatter LM. C2 low means low interest elasticity of money demand. Right? We have this low interest elasticity of money demand. We have the steeper LM curve, right? Must be contained in the graph, right? So many graphs, right? Now the C2 low means we have the steeper LM curve. We look at the C2. And can do more steeper LM, right? More steeper LM curve, right? And more flatter LM curve here. C2 high. C2 means the elasticity of money demand. Normal IS curve, right? Normal IS curve. How we take the fiscal policies, right? So we assume government use expansionary fiscal policy, government raises expenditure, right? By delta G portion from G0 to G1, right? Government expenditure increase, right? So this is the initial situation, right? I guess G0. And this is the clear. So we use the expansionary fiscal policy, right? So the government raises expenditure from G0 to G1, that shift is go to the right, right? What I can fix there. So the effectiveness of the fiscal policy now raising the government expenditure, right? So we evaluate the impact on the income, right? Impact on the income by looking at the crowding out effect, right? Now here, looking at the crowding out effect in this case, right? If there is a low interest elasticity of money demand, right? So, and the government raises expenditure, right? Comes to the increase from Y0 to Y2. But due to the adjustments, right, finally, a decrease from this is the some decrease from Y2 to Y1. So this is the crowding out effect. Here we see the crowding out effect, right? Here, the crowding out effect. Right? Now, which one is more effective? The less crowding out effect, right? Here we have the high crowding out effect compared with this. Here there's a low crowding out effect. That means the impact on national income is right. So this one is there's low crowding out effect. Right. So that means if the C2 is high, right? So that means if the interest elasticity of money demand is high, fiscal policies are more effective. Right? If there is a high interest elasticity of money demand, fiscal policies are more effective. You can take C2 high and the plateau policies we have here deeper. Also of the Lanka, it is flatter, right? Given that we have the P2 high being flatter Lanka, right? Fiscal policies are highly effective, right? That means P2 high, right? So we know that there is a lower probability not effect, right? So in this case, right, fiscal policies are more effective, right? So when there is a better LM curve, fiscal policies are more effective, right? Okay. So there is a conclusion. Right now, then we can take the fiscal policy and the slope of the highest curve. Minus one, right? Take the fiscal policy and the slope of the highest curve, right? The slope of the highest curve depends on I1. Right? So I1 can be low. So I1 can be high. Right? Low interest deductibility of investment, we have the deeper highest curve, right? High interest deductibility of investment, we have the flatter highest curve, right? Here the I1 low, I1 and I2 cases. Can you draw the curves and see? Quickly, can you draw the curve? Tell me which one is more effective. If you draw the initial situation, right? Now we use the fiscal policy as your government benefit expenditure, right? So by delta T portion, right? Expansion of policy, right? Take the initial situation, initial equilibrium, factors, effects on income. If we draw the curves, we have I1 knowing we have steeper IS curve. And no more steeper IS curve, right? I1, I mean we have the flatter IS curve. And was normal LM curve, right? Can draw it in yourself, right? See how the shape is, right? Fiscal policy, YS curve to the right. Again, E1. In order to check now here, since we have the fiscal policy action, then you can look at the crowding out effect. So, then we see normal crowding out effect. If there is no change in the interest rate, no, right? Due to the multiplier effect, come in place from I0 to I2, but do that only the interest rate, right? Come in place from Y2 to Y1. Here the crowding out effect is very high. Right? Okay. So which one is effective? I1 low, right? So that we have this steeper IS curve, right? Fiscal policies are more effective. Right? We have steeper IS curve, right? Fiscal policies are more effective, right? So likewise, right? Now you can identify the effectiveness of the policies by looking at the slope of the IS and LM curve. Right? So this is the final conclusion, right? So monetary policies are more effective if we have the steeper LM curve and Monetary policies are more effective if you have the people better. Yes. Fiscal policies are more effective if you have people IHO and policies are more effective in and we can take one factor and side. Right. So that is the policy effectiveness, right? You can roll the curve from just like rolling the curve, right? And see, right? Here we look at in the fiscal policy case, we look at the covering of effect, right? But in other cases, monetary policy actions, we have to look at the change in income, right? Due to the adjustment in interest rate. That we roll the curve, right? Scale, right? And see the impact on the and then gets the effective one. Okay. Right. And indication, right? Usually are right if there is a high interest elasticity of investment, fiscal policies are more effective. Do you agree? Okay. Is it clear any question? Right. So now then we are moving to the now this is the last part of this session, right? So we are going to talk about the now here we look at only the interest rate and the income, right? So there's fiscal policy, monetary policy action, we analyze the impact on interest rate, the income, right? So then we can look at the impact on the price level, right? So far we assume price level is constant, right? Because now the LN curve, when you draw the LN curve, right? So we put here, right? M0, V0, right? So we didn't talk about this V0, right? So if there is, now if it is changed, if this one changed, right? So you know that the length curve also changed, right? So that means, so that can be derived by looking at the aggregate demand curve changes in the aggregate demand and the aggregate supply. Because the price level is determined according to the aggregate demand and the aggregate supply, according to the ADAS model, right? So now first we look at now the aggregate demand, right? So that explains the demand and the price, the relationship, right? Aggregate supply also same, right? So that also explains the supply and price level, right? So we know that the aggregate demand and the aggregate supply, right? Aggregate demand and the aggregate supply determine the price level in the contract, that is the price level, right? On the price, particular product or something as we discussed in the demand supply, right? You know the normal aggregate demand, aggregate supply that determine the price level P dot and the equilibrium income, right? So this is the price level that measures the equilibrium of P dot P, right? Price level and the national income, right? So when aggregate demand equal aggregate supply, determine the general price level and the equilibrium national income, right? So now we are going to talk about, but there are different views regarding the aggregate demand and the aggregate supply, right? Different economics, right? Of the aggregate demand and the aggregate supply curves, right? Then we will look at the ancient theory, basically identify the demand side factors, no, right? So the case talk about much on the aggregate demand, right? But classicals talk about much on the aggregate supply, no, right? And some of the right? So they talk about regarding aggregate supply. Right? So according to the classical economics, aggregate supply curve is vertical. So they highlight the supply side factors are more important than the demand side factors. But again, side demand side factors are more important than the supply side factors. Likewise, there would as a conflict with you, right? With these tools, right? Okay, right. Now we are going to talk about your theoretical things, but we are going to derive the aggregate demand based on the BSAA. Now this is the initial situation, right? We have the we know this IS curve and the LN curve, right? We take this T0, T0, right? So those are the shifting variables, right? And LN, N0, T0. So those are the LN curve, right? Represent the N0, T0, those are the shifting factors, right? Ice level also shifting factor, right? Now, we assume price increased. Right? What happened? When there is a rise in the price, what happened? Yeah, in the ISLM analysis, it affects to the, we link with the ISL, it affects to the real money balance. Right? You may remember we talk about the money market, right? Money market, this is the money supply, money demand, right? So this is determine the real money balance, right? Money stock, right? So this is the money stock, right? So the price is here. There is a change in the price that will change the real money balance in the car, right? You know that value of the money, right? Purchasing power, right? Real money stock, right? That is the real money balance, right? Money stock in real term, right? M means nominal money stock, right? If we divide by the price level, can assess the real money stock, right? In real terms, monetary value, right? Now we assume the prices increase, right? What happens when this increase real money balance decrease, right? And price increase real money balance decrease. So that means money stock decrease in real term, right? So that affect to the element, right? So if there is a rise in the price level, so that reduce the value of the money, purchasing power of money, right? So that will shift the money stock, right? So in real term, that will reduce the money stock, right? So that will be impact on the right? And we know that if there is a rise in the price level, right? So that will reduce the real money balance, so the purchasing power of money, right? So when there is a decline in the money stock, what happens? That will increase the interest rate, right? So this curve shifts to the left, in other words. And there is a decline in the real money balance, right? That will increase the interest rate, right? So the reduction in money stock, like it's reduction in money supply, right? And here that creates the interest rate, the money market, right? So when there is a rise in the interest rate, we know the outcome, right? So that is affecting the real sector, right? There is decline in the investment, which represents the real sector. So that will reduce the aggregate demand. When there is a rise in the interest rate, so that will reduce the aggregate demand because of the decline in the investment demand, right? So now this is the situation, right? Initially, now we can take the point A, right? That is the equilibrium point, right? Then, right? Economy is equilibrium at the point A. We have the R0, I0, equilibrium income and the interest rate. So we can take the point here, right? ISL in the aggregate demands, right? Point A, we can take it, right? Because at the P0 level, right, we have the Y0 income level, right? We can take 1 point here, P0, Y3, right? Because initially we have declared price level, right? At the initial price level, we have the income level Y3, right? If there is a decline in the, if there is rise in the price level, that shift the LL curve to the left, right? Because there's a decline in the money stock in the money market, right? So that shift the LL curve upward to the left. So that will raise the interest rate from R0 to R1, right? So we can take that point, right, at P1 in price level, right? The income reduce up to Y1, right? So we can draw the, by combining these points, A and B, we can draw the aggregate demand curve, right? So aggregate demand curve, normal, upward sloping curve and demand curve, right? We derive this one based on the ISL, right? We know that if there is a, out here, assume the price level increase, right? So that will raises the money, change the money balances in the economy in real terms, right? That will affect the money market rates. Money market rate is as a result of that, right? When the money market rates increase, that there is a change in the aggregate demand due to declining the investment demand. That will reduce the income level from Y0 to Y1. That's why when the prices increase, income increase. Right? So there's a negative relationship. The relationship between the price and the income, right? Is explained right to the aggregate demand curve, right? Now we take here aggregate demand G0, T0, and 0. So those are the autonomous variables, right? So this aggregate demand curve explains the relationship between the price and the income, right? At a particular level of aggregate demand in the economy, right? So if there is a change in the government expenditure, taxes, money supply, so we know that change aggregate. Those are the exogenous factors, demand side factors. Government expenditure. When the government raises its expenditure, what happens? Aggregate demand curve shift to the right. If there is a high taxes, that shift to the left. Right? If the money stock increase, what happened? Aggregate demand curve shift to the left or right. There's a rise in the money stock in nominal term. That shift the aggregate demand curve to the right. Right. So those are the shifting factors. Okay. Because we take a real money term, right? It's a change in the price level, right? Okay. So that reduce the money stock, right? Based on that, we have the aggregate demand, right? Now you can explain the impact on the based on this analysis, right? So if there is a fiscal policy or the monetary policy action, what happens to the interest rate, what happens to the income, what happens to the price level, right? Right. In order to explain that one, we need other side also, not only the demand, we need supply, aggregate supply. Right? Now, for an example, now Keynesian aggregate supply curve is, this is not Keynesian, right? We draw now the Keynes aggregate supply curve should be horizontal, right? So, your Keynesian, your Keynes, right? Should be horizontal, no, right? Because now, for an example, if you draw the horizontal aggregate supply, downward sloping aggregate demand, right? Right. So this determine the price level and the income, right? Here this is the case. So here the demand, if we raise the demand, like what happened? With the change in the demand side factors, raise the national income, right? There is no change in the price because Keynes assume the economy running with excess capacity, right? So that's why if we raise the expenditure, demand, supply is not the problem, no, right? Only the demand is a matter, no, right? Supply is not a problem, right? So that will follow. No? If there is a demand, suppliers will follow. That means economy is running with excess capacity. We have the capacity. Excess expenditure, we can utilize such capacity, right? That is the idea, right? That's why income increase, right? By raising the aggregate demand. Case identify there is a deficiency in the aggregate demand. Problem is the demand, right? That's why these problems arise. Why there is a recession? Because of the lower demand, right? When there is a recession, demand increase, no, right? Aggregate demand increase. Therefore, we need to raise the aggregate demand in order to address such problems, right? That's why the game introduced this government to raise the expenditure, right? So this is the first action, right? And like take it, and then suddenly get that the government expenditure, right? That raise the aggregate demand. Money flows to the public, no, right? Right, right. Here the problem is not the supply, demand, right? We can, that's why the supply curve is perfectly elastic type, no, right? Gains, right? But gains here we normally go, because we can go this way also, no problem, right? Now if we go take the upward sloping, and when it comes to the full employment, right? It becomes vertical, right? It is until it reaches to the full employment, right? We can, by raising the aggregate demand, that will increase the income, no, right? Employment. When it comes to the full employment, right? Full employment level output, right? Then there is a, if we raise the aggregate demand, whatever, there will be a rise in the price level. That creates inflation pressure, no, right? So that is this here, right? Now, in this area, right, if we raise the aggregate demand, what happened? There's a slight price increase according to Keynes here, right? But once it reaches the full employment potential output level, right? Then thereafter, if we raise the aggregate demand, because economy is running full capacity, you know, there's no change in the income, but there will be a inflation pressure, right? Now, these points, no? AB, right? So AB points me by raising the aggregate demand in the fiscal policy actions, right? So there's a possibility to raise the income level and the employment level, right? But that can be never until it's reached to the full employment level. YF means full employment. So once the economy reaches to the full employment, or when it is running with the full capacities, there's no meaning in raising the expense. Yeah. So that will raise the price level, right? So this is effective until it reaches to the full employment level. That's the demand management policy below the full employment. Okay, not bad. Okay. So the Keynes layer, like we can draw this way, no, right? Even you can draw it horizontal, and once it reaches the full employment, become vertical. Right. And the classical is the other side, no, of this draw. Right? They believe the supply side factors are the important. So that's why The demand side factors are not important. They believe supply side factors. Supply determining nature of employment and output. This is the classical aggregate supply curve. Right? It's vertical, right? Because in this case, demand side, this is the aggregate demand, right? This is now the price and the income, not right? So demand, even though we change the demand, raise the demand, there will be no impact, no? On output level or employment. Only we can see the price level increase, right? There will be inflation, right? The demand is not important, supply is important. We can change the supply, we can increase the supply, we can raise the output and the employment. So that's why the classical, they believe the vertical aggregate supply curve. And we can derive this supply curve that can be used in the labor market and the function, right? This is the classical aggregate supply curve, right? Vertical, right? So even though there is physical expansion, right? That will raise the aggregate demand, right? But there will be no impact on output, right? But we can see the prices going up, right? Like that creates inflation pressure implies, right? So that is the classical aggregate supply curve, right? Because if there is a rise in the aggregate demand, prices will respond, right? But other factors, income, or the output, or the employment, does not respond to that. That's why the demand management policies or the demand side factors are not important for it to fascinate. Okay. So now if we take here this point, right, that is the idea. Only we can see. But output and the employment response. Right. So here the demand management policies are. Okay, right. So that is the classical aggregate supply. Now, this is the situation, right? Now, we are coming from the horizontal aggregate supply curve, right? Now, let's look at the how it is changed from short run to long run aggregate supply curve. Right? So, very short run, we know that aggregate supply curve is, so there is no change in the aggregate supply, it's become vertical. But horizontal, right? Very short. In aggregate supply, even though we change the aggregate demand, price does not change, right? Output will. When the time takes place, what happens? It becomes flatter. For an example, now we are raising the aggregate demand, right? So if we are very short run, if we raise the aggregate demand, right? To the fiscal policy action, but this is the government expenditure that reduces that increase the income, right? From 5 to this. Then when the time takes place, what happens? Is that we get the supply curve, there is a supply adjustment take place, right? So, so that means prices also tends to increase slightly. It's like it's adjustment, right? So likewise now is T1, T0 to T1. So this means that the supply curve become flatter, become steeper. And the time stays place, right? So the price tends to increase, right? But income tends to decrease. Likewise, we see become steeper and steeper when there's a time when the time goes. In the long run. Right? When you come to the long run, it becomes vertical. Right? It becomes vertical. Finally, there is something we are coming from Keynesian to the classical economics. Right? Right? From the short run to the long run. Right? Different type. Finally, the long run, if we raise the demand, what happens? That will raise the price level. Only the price. Everything won't change in the output. So that means something as we identified in the monetary stock about this natural rates, right? Temporary economy can move away from this particular level, right? But after some time, economy eventually comes to the initial situation. Right? Finally, we are in the same place. Right? In particular output level below that. That is the idea, right? I think something that is not clear to you, right? Right. So this is the adjustment that we can see from the short run to long run, right? So long run, if we don't short run, we can go to our targets, right? Strategies, short run, through the demand management policies, we can go to the targets, but in the long run, what we can experience is, so if we use the demand management policies, taking the government expenditure and so on, right, there will be a inflation situation, but the economy prevail initial situation, right? Okay, I'll say it, right? Okay. So that is kind of dispute, right? So this is a classical and a Keynesian, right? Dispute, right? Something we are going to reconcile, right? Because from short run to long run, right? Okay, right? So that is the end of our session, right? So there are some more things, but you are in the principles of economics, right? I think that even though now in our syllabus, you are normally the principles of economics, you will start only the microeconomics, macro things, right? The rest of the things are there. So that's why we talk about ISL, right? Right. Any questions if we have? Okay. Okay, right. So we have one more topic, right? So that's I uploaded to the last day, right? So that is something we need to talk about the inflation and the unemployment, right? Okay. That is our final topic, right? I will explain those things, but in the examination, we are not going to deeply touch those areas, right? Yes, right. Right now, these are the two important areas actually, right? Important macroeconomic variables, right? Inflation and the unemployment, right? Some of the important macroeconomic objectives as well, right? Employment and inflation, right? So, so what is, if I ask you, what is unemployment? In economics, what sort of unemployment we are talking? Yeah, people, they are willing to work, but they cannot find employment. Right? That is something the involuntary, right? In economics, unemployment means involuntary. There are two unemployed, voluntary and involuntary. But here, the economics unemployment means involuntary. They are actually willing to work, but sometimes some people are not willing to work, right? They are voluntarily unemployed, right? Because if you are not satisfied with the wages, no, right? So the salaries, no, paid by the market, no, right? They are voluntarily unemployed, but they are not willing to work, no, right? Under the prevailing situation, right? So that is voluntary, no, right? But we are not talking voluntarily unemployed. We are talking involuntarily unemployed. So that's actually an indicator, no, right? Development indicator, no, right? Poverty. Line explain the poverty, no, right? Text also, right? So if the economy is running well, no, right? We know that productive capacity is increased, no, right? So that generate more employment opportunities, no, right? With the expansion of the production, no, right? That generate more employment opportunities. So that means if there is lower unemployment, no, right? Or high employment, so that means economy is running with health, right? Running well. So that is to indicate, right? So now if you look at this, so that means economic activities, unemployment that is related with the economic activities, right? Related with the economy, right? That explains the business cycle, right? In the business cycle, you know, the recession and the expansions and the contractions, right? You know, normally, if there is a downturn, no, right? So that is the recession, no, right? Unemployment also increase, right? If there is expansion, boom, no, right? Unemployment decrease, right? This unemployment, the inflation, those are closely associated with the business cycle, right? It's the economic indicator aspect, right? So now you can look at this recession expansion, right? So point is stagflation points and growth, right? Which closely we can explain the employment and employment information. Right. So now we know that crisis situation in the world economy also, right? We see, right? We talk about this 1929 Great Depression, right? So there is a decline in the output levels, right? And we see very recently because of the tsunami and economic crisis, no, right? Unemployment increase, no, right? So likewise, no, right? Those are the different eras we can highlight. Now we are in the renewable energy era, no, right? That actually changes so that era expectations came in this COVID pandemic situation, no, right? In Sri Lanka, same cycles we see, no, time to time. Starting from the 1950s up to the recent past, no, right? To analyze these growth patterns, no, right? GDP, no, you can identify those expansion, contraction, right? And you look at this employment figures, unemployment figures, those are closely associated with these economic activities, no, right? That means the economic expansion and the contractions, different time periods, right? Now we see in 2010, 2009, 2010, around 2013, there's the expansion, then there's a contraction of output and so on, right? With the COVID and the financial crisis, right? Change totally the economic activity other way around, making more unemployment, right? Job losses, right? Right. So now how we measure the unemployment rate? We take the unemployed people as a percentage of labor force. The labor force comprises both employed and unemployed. Right? Normally, we express the number of unemployed, right, people as a percentage of labor force that we count as unemployment rate. Right? Now, if we have the 4 million jobless people and 44 million employed, no, so the labor force is 48 million. Right? So we take the 4 million and divided by the 48 million, no? So we can calculate unemployment, right? Now, if you look at the now, when we look at the labor force, no, right? So how we take the labor force? From the population, starting from the population, no, right? We have to first identify the working age population, no, right? Working age population, no, right? We have to exclude the elder population and the child population from that. From the population, right? Because elder population, they are not actively engaged in the economic activities. That's it. And the child population, no, right? Also should be removed. So we can identify the working age population, no, by deducting the elder population that is over 60, no, right? And below 10 or something, or whatever is called that, below 18, no, right? So and we can identify the working age population. From that, we have to deduct the economically non-active people, no, right? Those are not in the labor force, no, right? In order to identify the labor force, we need to deduct the housewives, no, they are the houses. The right? Yeah, they are right. And the full-time students like you put that part-time, right? Full-time students and the clergy people, no months, not right? And if there are different able people, no right? Tables, no right? We can put that. Right. So that by removing those, we can identify the labor force, right? So that represents both employed and okay. Now, when you analyze this, the profiles, no, right? Employed and unemployed, that is very important, no, right? You know that employment, we can analyze you need to look at the central bank annual report, no, right? Public sector employment, no, private sector employment, no, self-employed, and my employers are there, no, right? So likewise, we need to analyze the employment, no, right? Profile. Unemployment also you can analyze gender-wise, education-wise, no, right? So different, the province-wise, no, right? Rural, region-wise, no, right? So by looking at this unemployment profile, we get a deep understanding about the unemployment problem. No? Now we have the youth unemployed, right? And the teenage unemployed, right? Those are the features of the we can identify by looking at by analyzing the unemployment. Right. So now this is the how we take the labor force from the population, no, right? We know that we deduct the time and the age population, right? We identify the working age population, right? First, then we given the active people, like they are not in the labor force, right? They not in the labor force, right? Now, you must know what are the main features in the unemployment, right? Okay. So the recent past, right? We see the unemployment rate slightly with recent decrease, no, but the price of periods increase, no, right? Unemployment, right? But you look at avoiding those few years, right? If you look at in general, there is high unemployment rate, right? So the seriousness of this problem we can identify by analyzing unemployment profile. Right? So this requires the central bank annual report, right? In order to get the main trends in the unemployment, right? Educational wise, age-wise, no, right? Gender-wise, no, right? Uh, Okay. Right. So what are the types of unemployment? One is the frictional, right? What is frictional? Frictional means now people are moving from one job to another job, right? Okay. People are moving, no, right? If they are moving, so some people will prefer white collar jobs. Right? Sometimes now during the now maybe especially the pregnancy period, they are moving from the labor. Right? And again come to the labor. So that in frictional unemployment means it's a temporary. Temporary, right? Kind of voluntary unemployment situation, right? So, these people are change in the geographical regions, no, right? Sometime for the period, they will become unemployed, no, right? They will find a job, no, right? So like that, right? That is the friction. So there is a time lag, no? If the survey is conducted in between that period, right? So they will be treated as unemployed, no? But that is temporary situation. Okay. Right. And the structural, what is structural unemployment? Because of the structural changes in the economy. Structural unemployment arise because of the structural changes in the economy. For an example, like if there's a mismatch between the labor demand and the labor supply, right? So employers, they expect skilled labor category, right? But there's no supply for that to fulfill the requirements. There's a mismatch, right? So there's a one systems arise now. Sri Lanka, our education system, right? Even though we have a good education system, right? The output produced from the education system, right? They are not matching with the requirement in the job market. Right? There is a mismatch in the demand and the demand. Such kind of things we can identify as the structural unemployment, right? Because of the technological change, right? Maybe the competition, right? Because of sometimes government policies also affected, create such situation. When there is a recruitment for the government sector, we know that there are certain requirements, policies are there. Recruitment policies are there. We need to match with that, right? Otherwise, we want to be qualified, right? In such situations, we know that this structural unemployment can be created. Right? It's a long-term phenomenon. So this mismatch means now, even though the private sector they expect skilled category, right? If the majority of people are unskilled, no, right? So that's a long-term problem, right? It takes long time, no, right, to match with the requirements, right? So that is the kind of situation, right? So that is the structural unemployment, right? So, right. So there's technology competitions, government policies, right? And the mismatch, the labor demand, the labor supply, right? Mainly goes to create some situation, right? Okay. Cyclical unemployment. So that's actually with that can be arrived with that is the Keynesian unemployment, right? Cyclical because of the demand, lower demand, right? Cyclical unemployment rate because of the lower aggregate demand, right? So that is the Keynesian type of employment, right? If there is a normally the low economic activities, unemployment increase. For example, there's a recession, right? Downturn in economic activities that may lead to unemployment, right? And that can be settled in expansion, like related with the economic activity, right? And when there's lower demand, right? Lower aggregate demand, so that will increase, right? With the cyclical unemployment. So that is associated with the business cycle, right? Okay. That is cyclical. So apart from that, we can identify the seasonal unemployment. Now, sometimes you see in the tourism industry, when there's a good tourist arrivals, no, periods, no, right? It's employment increase in the agriculture sector. No? So we are calculating this Galle and the Mark, no, right? So the employment increase, no, right? In those periods, no, likewise. And even in the construction industry, no, seasonal factors, no, right? Seasonal unemployment can be seen, right? So sometimes people may unemployed for a certain period, right? And they become employed in other periods as well, right? So especially in the particular areas, right? And we see the disguised unemployment, right? So most of the government organizations, we see the disguise, no? Electricity, railway, no, right? So since there's excess labor supply, no, right? Right. That means those organizations can run at the same level, right? Without by removing the labor, no, even. No? So that means they are running with the excess labor, no, right? Overcrowded, no, right? The government organization, mostly we see since there's political interference and people are recruited, no, right? Excessively, right? In those organizations, right? So that kind of scenario, right? They identify as disguised unemployment. Okay. And the hidden unemployment means officially now central banks or the census, no, right? Announce the official rates, no, right? Right? But actual rates may be differ from that, right? So the central bank after අපි අඩුණා නේද, right? Right. Manipulate කරනවා කියන අදහස දුක්ඛ, right? Situation, right? So unemployment also, right? Official rate. The underestimate. Actual rate may be there will be hidden unemployment. And underemployment also there, no? Right? That's a situation where we employed, we are qualified, but we are employed in under capacity, no? Right? Qualified people, no? So much of graduates, no? They will work as a class, no? Right? They are not working with their full capacity, right? That is a poverty indicator, no? Right? Employed, right? And they get the low income, right? And also we see the natural rate in our. So that is the one economics is monetary. They talk about this natural rate of unemployment, right? So that's a kind of they believe economy, all economics there can be free that means certain level of unemployment in economics. Okay. Now we can identify this classical and the Keynesian unemployment. That is classical unemployment, right? So that is associated with this market, labor market, right? Because classical meaning the market force, right? So market mechanics, for an example, sales law, right? So supply chain law, demand, likewise, right? Now the sales law of market, right? So the classical economics meaning the market mechanism, right? So that means they believe that the wage rate fixed above the market rate that create unemployment, right? So that is the case in the classical unemployment, right? So why there is unemployment? Because of high wage rate above the market, varying rates. And the Keynesian other side, right? So that is called, as we discussed, the cyclical unemployment, right? That has to do with the economic activities, right? So during the recessions, there may be low aggregate demand that create unemployment problem, right? So that's why Keynes identified this importance of raising the aggregate demand in order to raise the output and the okay. So those are the two cases, right, that we can identify, right? Now, in the red line, you see higher wage rate above the market rate, right? So labor demand, labor supply determine those are the labor market forces, right? That determine the wage rate, right? But if we fix, or the government fix, minimum wages above market, clearly, so that create unemployment. That is the classical unemployment. Okay. And if you look at the Keynesian unemployment, right? Because now Keynes talk about the demand, right? Aggregate demand, right? So if we raise the aggregate demand, for an example, now here the aggregate demand curve shift to the right, upward shift, right? So due to raising the investment, right? From I0 to I1, right? So that creates output level also increase, employment also increase. That is the associated with the demand. If there is a lower demand, right? So that will create unemployment. So unemployment. So employment, high unemployment, right? Likewise, right now the Keynesian unemployment is associated with the efficiency of labor. If the Keynes argue that if there is a efficiency of demand that create unemployment, right? So now we can look at this ADA's model, also Keynes cost, right? Keynesian costing, and we can use this employment, right? There is the expansion of the output, right? That create more employment opportunities. That will happen due to rising the aggregate demand. That explains the Keynesian employment or the unemployment. Right. So what are the impacts? You can just read those things, right? So now if there is a negative impacts and also there, and the positive impacts also there, right? So we can identify the loss of income. It's a great loss of unemployment, right? So that reduces the revenue standard, right? And there will be a multiplier effect also, right? Negative multiplier effects, right? For the now jobs, right? So if there is a close down of this business ventures, factories, you lost the jobs, right? There will be a multiplier effect with that, right? On the car, right? And there will be a loss of national output, because the high unemployment, right? So that will one side which indicates the waste of resources, right? People know so much of expenditure government made, right? Generate these educated people, right? Finally, if they are unemployed, right? But actually waste resources, right? That will lose the national output. They can contribute to the output in a way, right? But since they are unemployed, right? So we cannot expect a contribution from them, right, to the economy. And there is a loss to the government also, right? And the social cost also there, right? Because of unemployment, right? And the positive side also we can argue, right? So that's a surplus, right? So that will create surplus pool, right? Labor, right? Available, right? Maybe available anytime, right? And there will be a less pressure on higher wages. If there is excess labor, right? There will be no greater demand for high wages, right? That also we can take it as positive, right? And the risk of industries, right? There's a lot of risk of industries because there's no trade union arguments, right? Our trade unions, right? Is that since there are more jobs, unemployed people are there, right? So, trade union, they cannot demand, right? Because if they demand it, then it is, right? There are a lot of people outside, right? Can be recruited, right? So, from the industrial point of view, right? That's less, right? Those we see them, right? And here I highlight some of the policies to reduce the unemployment, right? So we can design the policies, right? Because you know that reduce the unemployment, right? So to improve the human capital and so on, right? So provide the incentives to cope and accept work, right? So, some kind of incentive arrangements, right? So, and sometimes that may create a problem due to the immobility of labor, right? So if we can increase the mobility of labor, right? So that also possible, right? And maintain sufficiently high level of demand to create new jobs, right? And encourage entrepreneurial and innovations, right? And those things we suggested, right? No, right? That's why we generate the entrepreneurial universities, no, right? Now one can think about this encouraging innovations, no, right? Research and development and so on, right? And supply side, we can take the same thing, right? Reducing the occupational mobility, some kind of training programs, right? Education and training, right? Can the tax policies, tax reforms, right? In this, the something, something. Right? Can have in some right policy, right? You can actually look at that. You can look at some of the things in the youth unemployment, educated unemployment, right? So that is this reports, right? You can get an idea about that, right? And the gender wise, right? And the age wise, right? So the unemployment and the province wise, right? Look at the unemployment figures, right? So you can have an idea about the depth of this unemployment factor. Right? So actually, I'm not going to talk about inflation, right? Yes, do we need a break 5 minutes? Okay, after the break, right, we can have a just look at some of the things, right? Just review the things, right? And we will finish the lesson, right? And we have any questions you can ask, right? And also we just look at the tutorial that I gave you, right? And if there are any questions, you can raise those questions, okay? 5 minutes, look at the break, right? We can. About your assignments, you submitted individual assignment. So I gave you 5 tutorials. How many of you have now last one? Fifth one is before that 4 tutorials. We can take it. Okay. Those who have done, if you have any questions, you can ask. So now in the first tutorial, right? So that's actually, I think, the objective. Questions, direct questions, not right? I think now, for example, now when you differentiate microeconomics and macroeconomics, so now you need to can use different methods, method approach, no, right? Now we talk about the we need to use the graphs also, right? And remember, micro and macro. Right? So when we come to the aggregate demand, aggregate supply, right? That's a kind of general, right? Price level and the income. Micro sense means we use the particular market demand and supply that determine the price of the particular product, right? In the market, right? And we can differentiate by looking at the objectives, nature of the nature, right? For example, micro means we look at the individual's behavior, right? Macro means we use the overall aggregates, right? Behavior, economic aggregates, right? And the objective of microeconomics, right? What is the objective? Two sides, from the demand and the supply, right? Producers and the consumers. The objective of the consumer is to always try to maximize the utility, right? Producer, minimize the cost, right? So that explains the microeconomic behavior, right? Macroeconomic objective is to pull apart. And the mechanism, there actually use the price mechanism, right? Microeconomics, right? Demand and supply. There actually macroeconomics use the aggregate demand. Microeconomics is a partial equilibrium, microeconomics is general equilibrium, right? And you need to explain the difference. This is the graph graphical approach, right? Likewise, right? So other things actually value judgment, positive economics, you agree, no? Right? Value judgments are there, no? Right? What about this? Economic growth can be achieved sacrificing current consumption to future investment. Is that okay? No? You can explain it using the PPC, no? And women. So we have done. What is your idea? We need to find the current consumption. There's a material cost, no? Right? In order to achieve the growth, right? We need to sacrifice the consumption for investments, no? Right? Investment means that accumulate capital, right? Consumption. Know that. Both you would BPC diagram, if we take this capital goods, minimum goods, right? But we this is the different combinations are there, right? A1, A0, A0 something. When we increase the capital, right, we sacrifice from the goods, right? So that means so this is the case, all right? So when we are moving from here to here, right? We reduce the consumer goods consumption and the production, right? This is the production, right? And increase the capital goods production, right? So that increase the productive capacity of the economy, right? That will raise the, when we are moving here to here, right? That if there's more capital accumulation, right? That will increase the productive capacity of the economy, right? So that forced to shift the EPC to the right. We need to reduce the production of or the demand on the side and production of consumer goods. Keep the production of the capital goods, right? Capital goods that accumulate the capital stock, right? Will increase the productive capacity that we get the DPC to the right. Right? So we need to reduce the current consumption for future investment. Investment increase the capital stock, right? That will raise the productive capacity with the higher curve to the right. That's right. You need to, EPC, we need to explain that, right? I think there is no problem here. This kind of thing. If you're thinking of, okay, this one, EPC, now we have given the linear EPC line, right? Mission. Right. How you know the EPC? Okay. Yes, those you have done. Can you draw the EPC based on this information? Now you can take our exam by the two axes, right? Yes, there is a zero production of X, how much is from the Y we produce by 100. Right? So then you have to take the Y zero, how much you have to take the extreme point, right? Then identify the so the linear, if it's linear line, right? අපි x0 කියලා ගත්තොත් y වෙලි කොච්චර අයකට පස්සේ y0 ගත්තොත් x කොච්චර කියලා බලන්න. 800 no right right 500 100 products of these points you can calculate the opportunity cost of producing 1 unit of x delta y over delta x right. Opportunity cost of producing 1 unit of y means delta x over delta y. You can take the right? Once you go the curve, right? Yeah, I think the 500 here, the 400 likewise, right? So you can calculate the slope of delta x over delta y, right? Opportunity cost you can identify. That's the 75 minutes of x and then how much you produce it. Right? So this question is right. Yes, we already some economic theory has been focused on the resource allocation, microeconomics. It says the microeconomics, using the microeconomics is okay. Right? And the economic theory, we say something about economic theory. You say the economic theory is micro and macro both. Right? Only the micro will look at the optimal allocation. Right? Macro look at the full employment. That you need to take, it is explained using the economic theory or something with there. You have to look at this is not true. No? You need to look at the macroeconomic point of view. Microeconomic theory is basically talk about the optimal allocation of resources, how to consumers and produce that. We talk about this theories, right? Consumer behavior, producer behavior, right? Theory, individual analysis. Firms we explain this, I suppose, I found conditions, right? Likewise, so the theory of the firms you will look at how you learn the next business economics to start with, right? And you learn the side, the firm, first side of it. Right. I think this is okay, no? Right. If you have any question, you can ask. Right. We're not talking. That you sometimes you may this simple question while if I am talking. There's a tutorial too, right? Demand finish wood is out here, I do the cost. I do demand that questions. I'm not going to talk if you have all these things okay. No, yeah, given this maximum demand, market price. Have you done those things? Yes. Okay. And for those who have done this tutorial, you have to do right. So there will be a if you have done this right, it's easy for you to find this right. So this is something right now, you know, the cardinal ordinal, right? Measurability of right. Then on this one, you know, this we talk about this marginality concept, no? Right? MUX over PX equal MUY over PY. Right? We have given the marginal utilities, right? The prices we have to right. X, then you have to take the prices, right? By creating it, right? Or you can take the MX over right? Price ratio, right? Yes, right? Equation. This is the marginal diminishing marginal. How do you read this one? There are three consumers in the market ABC. You have given the individual demand. Market demand, how you do? Yes. I did know, right? We are saying now here. This demand and supply, there is a question, right? The demand supply equilibrium, right? Analysis and then they call this elasticity, right? It income plus elasticity, right? How to calculate those things, right? Then the questions, right? Okay. Then, okay, moving to the third one. Do I need to talk? Can we talk? I don't have an answer. Is it boring? No, you can stop it. Right? Third one. Yeah, any questions? Yeah, yes. Indications. So have you done these things? Or you are told to do? Nothing. Now this, now here also producer surplus, consumer surplus, that's also very important, right? And the market situation, government interventions, right? Especially the tax case, that's also very important, right? Okay. Because the last visit is right. Okay, right. So then macroeconomic equilibrium, those conditions, right? So what is this? This one is okay. Savings. What is the saving function? Given the function, right? 30 marks plus 0.75y. Saving function is minus 30 plus 0.25y, right? Aggregate demand function means what is aggregate demand? You need to add C plus I plus T, right? That means we have the information from the national income monthly income calculation, right? These two questions, right? So here, like when we are doing these questions, we need to now, by looking at the model, here it says the gross economy, we have to take the gross economy model, right? Then we substitute the figures, right? Then consumption function is there plus 0.75 y t. There's the investments, how much? Investment is 30 and the government expenditure is 40, right? Fair, right? So the question has aggregate demand, we know that y equal aggregate demand, right? So this is the 30, 60, 100 plus 0.75 y. This is the aggregate demand, right? Equation. We can solve this equation y equal 100, y minus 0.75 y equal 100, 0.25 y equal 100. So y, how much you can calculate it, that will be the rate, right? And if there is suppose 30% tax, right? So that means YD, right? Now 30%, right? Is 0.3. So this is the proportional tax, right? TY. Tax equal TY. That means 0.3y tax, right? That need to be substituted here, right? So y, that means y equals 30 plus 0.75 y minus 0.3y, 30% plus 30 plus 40. And you get something likewise, right? Now the case is now if we have given full-fledged open economy model, right? So taking all these equations, right? So we need to take that part, right? Of the budget, here budget surplus coming, what is budget? If there is a 20% tax, budget means the difference between the revenue and the expenditure. At the equilibrium, you can, once you find the equilibrium, you can take the total tax revenue, right? P means 0.3 into y means the equilibrium, right? You can take the revenue and the expenditure is given. Expenditure is 40 something, right? 40. The difference is the budget surplus or deficit. Now, suppose now if we are given the say economy, we are given import, export in the open economic model, right? P plus D plus X minus N, right? If we have given the consumption is A plus B by D, the investment I bar, right? D bar, now exports, imports n plus n1, right? So we can solve it, right? So same way, if you have given some equation values, right? Import function, you can substitute into the model, no? Right? We can take the consumption if we substitute a plus dyd plus I means I1, E means E1, right? X means X1. Import means, now import function is minus related within bracket M0 my, right? Marginal propagation impulse. Then y equals, you need to simplify the equation, right? Then I should put it. So you take the tax function now. The tax function we have given T0 plus Ty like this, right? Something 100 plus 0.2y. Something like that. Or the import function is something like this. A plus b yd means y minus the tax function is 100 plus 0.2y y minus p y minus p. Okay. So this is the bracket, not right. And I plus minus n0 minus n1. Right? Remove the brackets. Right? Check. Right? A plus, we take this y minus 100 minus 0.2y plus I plus e plus n minus. Right? When we take move this bracket dy minus plus dy, right? Dy minus T0 minus Ty. Then you can solve the equation. You can if we are given the equations, right? Figure terms, you can use the model, right? Applicate model and substitute. Now let's move to the fourth. I want to know this. Along the consumption function, income change more than consumption. What is your idea? Tell me. I will not allow you to go, but if you tell me in your. What is the first question? Can you see? We're going to make that. What does it say? Income changes more than consumption. Income change more than consumption. Can it be ever? No. Okay. Alone the consumption function. Let's talk about the slope of the consumption function. What is the consumption? Consumption function equal to a consumption, here the income, right? So this is our consumption. Right? Another function. So, right? So along the consumption function, right? Now if you take this common point, C and the Y, right? Whatever. Here, change in income, this is the change. Small change, even though What is that? Yeah. Now here, due to change in the income, now this is change in consumption. When those income change, from 50% change, but only 10% change in consumption. That explains it. So from the consumption, no MPC, no right? MPC is low high. Here the low MPC, no right? Let me take the deeper curve, right? What happened? High MPC, no right? So now here it says lower the consumption function, income changes more than consumption. That means we have this better consumption function. It implies the lower MPC, so high MPS, no, right? In other words, right? That can be happened, no, right? So what is the nature of the MPC and the MPS, right? That talk about the slope of the consumption function, no, right? If there is a flatter consumption function, no, right? So that implies the percentage change in income is that means consumption will not highly respond, right? To change in income, no, right? We have this deeper, it's high sensitivity. MPS is high, right? When it becomes deeper, that means MPC become increase, right? Deeper consumption function, right? So that explains the MPC and the MPS, right? So slope of the consumption function is MPC, right? The opposite aspect from right MPS, right? So along the consumption function, income changes more than consumption means we have flatter consumption function, which is like lower MPC or high MPS. Right? People are not consumed, but they tend to save more, not right. Now, this second one, changes in disposable income leads to movement along the consumption function. Do you agree or not? Consumption function, consumption depends on the income, no, right? Here, two other factors remaining constant, no, right? If there is a change in the other factors, that means here the wealth and other factors, there is change. That shift the consumption function, right? So that can be happening, right? Okay. So changes in disposable income leads to movement along the consumption function, right? Okay. This also say investment function, no, right? That explains the relationship, no, between the two interest rate and the investment. Right? So if there is a decline in the interest rate, it's movement along the curve, right? If there's income change, the investment curve, taxes take the investment curve to the left. The stable policy, the government policy is stable prices that we shift the investment curve to the right. Okay. Right. That you don't have any question. Right. The last one that we had this one, right? And there is ISL and something, right? This do this question, right? So they are given this equation, right? National income calculation, right? Is evaluating this, right? So you will be given question of that. Given the opening of bank. We do any question, right? If there are any questions, you can call me, right? So when support will see even right now, microeconomics and macroeconomics, two parts there, right? So there will be a two parts in the paper, right? Part one and the part two, right? That is question, right? Part, right? Therefore, you need to give it the topic that we discussed, right? Okay, except the last one, right? Inflation, right? Yeah. You know that one, right? Right. So, okay. Thanking, right? So without right, just reviewing those questions and reviewing the notes, right? It will be difficult for you to do the exam, right? Therefore, please get ready for the exam, right? Doing all these things, revision, right? Okay. Any questions? You are ready to go, right? So, good luck for your exam, right? So, how to meet you again, right? All right. Thank you very much.